Hello and welcome. My name is Dina, and this is an unexpected second upload for the day, as I always tend to shuffle the cards from the readings back into themselves and clear the energy in between. Immediately, I received the Feline card that often in recent months, since I first received this deck, it's been eluding me. I knew there was something else that needed to come forward from that card, but I was unable to make the connection, which is excellent and divine. And as I did this, it was like I was trying, there was no try. It was spontaneously arising, something about almost as if my ego wanted to say Isis, but then I was corrected and I was like, is it Sekhmet? The Egyptian goddess with the cat face. And then I tried to look it up just briefly, and often Sekhmet and Bastet are confused with each other, whether they're sisters or the same individual. They're attributed very similar personalities and roles, one of them being the one that we would call upon to help with health, healing, and also in some other context, also the bringer of the plagues and the bloodlust warrior goddess that comes to defend all evil. And before I actually looked it up, I was shuffling through the Kuan deck, and I had already had, let's see, 5 cards popped out, and I always look at the bottom. And so I already had those laid out when I saw this. I was looking at Wikipedia, love Wikipedia, and one of the things was in the plagues in the okay. So we've got the sun god, which is the ball of fire in our solar system, and then we have that she would breathe fire, perhaps, and then she became so much identified with war and such that then she was almost unable to pull herself back, and she had to be tricked into becoming more relaxed and compliant to bring her back from the battlefields, because her bloodlust had kind of overgrown itself. And so what can we symbolically draw from that? Some type of retribution or some aggression that we are feeling is our sacred calling. There's an extent and a limit to the appropriateness of any aggression, and that goes without saying for many of us. So, laid out here, and I will say, just as a little disclaimer, I do not know very much about them beyond the just superficial connection. But then before I actually hit this Kuan deck, in the code card deck, the Sacred Geometry Activations, that one had a bit of a, you know what? No, it wasn't that deck either. It was the Return to Spirit deck that the Feline card belongs to. That a number of cards came through, and it was something about, actually, it doesn't matter. I did shuffle both, and I did receive some codes and messages from both, but to the end that believe in your authority, you are being empowered with a message, which I haven't a clue what is about to come out necessarily beyond the cards that are in front of me. But then it was validated with, yes, mediumship, channeling, a message to convey. You're being supported as a caretaker. And so I'm meant to take care to extend a message. So perhaps you are as well. And this is going to tell us about the nature of that. I shuffled again, and under the deck was frequency shift and recognition. You're recognizing a shift in the frequency and the awareness, and perhaps this is coming into your full power potential, perhaps an activating event. It's as though to say, we can't be activated to become aware of something until the moment where it's appropriate. It's the great mystery of life. We can't know what we don't know until we know. You know? So let's get into the cards and find out what the mysterious energy is. The 18 Mother Fierce is at the bottom of the deck, that fierce protector, that sun energy, the breathing fire energy here with the mother energy. And so it also said something about the child. I cannot remember the name of the child that started with an M, two A's, but it wasn't Maat. That's a separate individual in the Egyptian lore. You may know this way better than I myself, but I'm going to look at that soon enough. But Mother Fierce comes in to say you are protected, you are sacred, you are holy, and as you burn away your indifference, as you transmute your pain and aggression into your calling and your purpose, and utilizing and calling forth your Kundalini energy, your Shakti energy arising from the base of the spine, you're being called to action. So the first card out here, well, so this was the deepest, and so it comes out with the fifth one here that I'll show being on the top when I looked at it. So this one is the deepest buried, 13 Yuga Shakti. It's as if to me to tell me this is the voice, the being riled into speech with the tongue out. It's like a justified speech or admonition or something coming forward, something speaking through us, whether this is like a holy hell no moment, or yes, this is mine and you can't steal this from me, this being a material object or an aspect of self, being, for instance, badgered and bullied, then taking back one's power. Yuga Shakti is like the sacred portal that births the Shakti energy out into this world. And as you look at this card, I'm getting these releases fluttering forward. She's like what is it, the dragon or the snake? Yes, the snake, the naga, the snake that comes through the crown of the head and explores the cosmos, is the Kundalini energy pulled up through, is it not? And this to me is like the Kundalini Shakti energy being spoken into powerful form. And so the goddess wants to speak through us, and whether we are male or female or somewhere in between is not the business of this reading. It's saying that sacred Shakti energy is the birthright. It is at the base of our spine, whether it's latent or subdued. It's being activated and catapulted into personal identifying alignment and sacred expression out into the world. So there we have. Next, we have Krishnu, this two-headed masculine with this red, and look again with the fire behind and lighting up his body. I don't know if you're getting like some kind of heated moment of flame, a passion stepping forward. This Krishnu card is about identifying and acting upon the passions that are riled up, identifying the sacred longing and the compulsion, the calling, the purpose, the call to action, uh, riling up these energies and riling up the energy into new dynamic personal expression or awareness. Then we have Kali Mahamaya, and this is, look at the reflection of her in the pond below, and the lotus is floating on the surface. It's like having flipped the script and witnessing both the subdued perspective of the victimized self or the underdog self, and then coming into full light, full capacity, lit up, charged, the channel. This is the frequency shift that comes through when we pierce the veil of awareness and believe in the perspective of self as the sacred mouthpiece of God's source spirit, the divine, however you indicate, or the ascended masters or otherwise. Thank you. So next we have, and one more thing, Mahamaya. Maya is the illusion, the great illusion of our disempowerment, of our smallness, our insignificance, versus the ability to overcome and to rise above and to be immersed in those sacred psychic waters of emotional capacity, to use the emotion for that sacred fire that is lighting us up and heating our blood, boiling our blood, perhaps even in some cases. But we are being cautioned to not become too bloodthirsty, to be able to embrace the awareness that as we call to the powers and the energies that be in situations, we can step back from our personal judgments and personal urge to deliver justice and to advocate for those matters to be handled in the highest possible form, and to pray for our own awareness of what we can do. And I heard prey upon, like as in the predatory aspect that comes with the bloodlust, and prey upon it, to pray for it and on it. So getting out of illusion, praying for our own, yeah, and even the waters are purple, like that purple violet flame keeps coming through, and then the golden light codes, the golden temple on the other side, purifying your sacred temple. And then the Kama of Kali, number 38, it's this what comes out of the water cleansed and renewed is the miracle of the rebirth. The miracle of the lotus is awareness and enlightenment and consciousness evolution, perhaps. And that one I'll read in a moment here, perhaps. And then lastly, the fifth card was Many Hands of the Goddess, number 17 here, is speaking about what can be done when we align with source, spirit, ascended masters, and so on. When we align within the self with the sacred and whatever that is on the higher vibrational end of things, when we invest in love and not fear frequency, when we can identify the choice point and move with integrity. This is also asking and invoking and working with the powers and energies and elementals that be in any situation to call forth assistance from your divine counsel, from healing from the divine medical assistance team, and so on, praying for all of those underserved and unawakened individuals, that they may see the light of love in their life, so that the seed of love can root in their awareness. Pray for the deliverance of all, I guess. I'm just speaking whatever comes into my mind here. So number 38, it says she is completely and utterly in love with your divine essence, and in her love she bestows endless gifts. Your path need not be one of endless effort and conflict. Connecting with pleasure as a path of personal empowerment with an intention to bring spiritual benefit to the collective through softening and opening your heart is an act of worshiping the divine feminine. Thank you, Bastet and Sekhmet. Relax into the presence of what is as you slow your pace and make swifter progress. So relax, trust that you are provided and protected for with Mother Fierce. You are fiercely provided for and protected. You are well loved and looked after and being observed for all of the critical acts of your own self-deliverance, your own self-awakening process, and your fearless, courageous, maybe a better word, commitment to restoring yourself and your power and your capacity, and you're being supported in this way. So kama is a Sanskrit word that refers to the sweet stuff of life, pleasure, emotional fulfillment, and being completely present so that we can experience life through all of the senses. So in this way, if you are that warrior essence that's been, let's say, a light warrior versus a light worker, for instance, are you embodying divisive, antagonistic tactics. And there is a time and a place for that. But does it also infect our outlooks to believe that there is an enemy when we could really do more sacred work if we were able to work with both resonant and dissonant energies? So also, the type of information that you're sharing around on in your life, you're practicing speaking that into further existence. Are you recapping everything that's wrong? Are you making sure everybody knows about the darkness? Or are you saying that there are things that are dark, but look at the evidence of those that are bringing things into healing? We don't talk about the healing without exaggerating the symptoms. But when we talk about our healing, we exaggerate and make exponential our healing. So are you a victim, or are you the hero of your story, type of a thing? So take in those affirming circumstances and advocate for the healing of any circumstance, and so mote it be. So it's also sensuality and physical vibrancy. Without this in our lives, we'd become dry, bleak, and intimidating to live a joyless existence with simply more tasks to complete. And if we're feeling exhausted, lacking in the qualities of delight and lightness of heart, then we may have become deficient in kama, sacred pleasure. In the realm of the goddess, the enjoyment of life is a sacred act of devotion, gratitude, and celebration. So in the throes of profound challenge and transformation, we can feel disconnected from our joyfulness. It's as though it's the difference between the bright days of summer and the midwinter bleak, bland awareness here. And so it's being willing and able to recall how to call to our bliss and enjoyment and to call that into our lives. So so calling something forward to be happy and soothed by here is our medicine in this moment. And with the Uranian Mars connection, and with so much going on in the cosmos, so to speak, and in our lives on any personal collective basis, it's an important time to keep our energy in right order. And we're being instructed to make sure to invoke the powers of not only transmutation, but the power and upliftment that is one of our choice points. So let's see. I do want to see more about this recognition of the frequency shift. I'm seeing celestial. Yes, there was confirmation on celestial starseed information here earlier. Let's see what wants to come out. One upside down there, and I want that one. Integrity, yeah, we talked about that. The integrity of, what are we reseeding into things? How are we using our energy? It may seem for a time that we are doing the right thing, being just and true by, taking our sword and cutting through the awareness of others. But this can sometimes not liberate and can polarize. So there's definitely a need to get back into the golden temple. Vibrational. This card in the moment is like talking about things shaking through us, shaking loose. Underneath manifest. We are manifesting where we give our attention. That's just a reminder for many of you. But I think that we understand that the vibrational integrity that we are broadcasting is co-creating the next leg of this journey. And if you don't want to live in Armageddon, it's time to advocate for the sun and not the shadow. Anything else here from this deck? Oh my gosh, that's a huge pile. Mediumship flipped in the deck with love underneath and frequency